Aloha! This is Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I interviewed Matt and Bob of Gotham Underground Comics and Collectibles. Now let's get started. I am here interviewing Matt Whiteley, owner of Gotham Comics and Collectibles, and his one of his customers who's helping him out on the social media is Bob Fleischer. Is that correct?
Fleischer.
I'm sorry about that, guys. So before we begin, can you guys promote the store's social media? Where can people follow you the store on social media?
Okay, so you can find us on just gucomicshop.com. You can find us on Instagram at Gotham Underground, at Twitter at Gotham Underground CS, and our Facebook. Oh man, there's too many. Honestly, there's too many.
Don't worry.
So there's Twitter is
CS. Gotham. If you search
sorry. Twitter is GU Comic Shop.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram is Gotham Underground. Facebook is Gotham Underground CS, or just Gotham Underground. You can search, and TikTok is Gotham Underground.
TikTok.
Yeah, we do TikTok.
Gotta have TikTok.
Well, I do TikTok. It's really, not that great, but just in case anybody's interested in, watching me use filters and do fun stuff.
Okay. All right. Now, before I continue, I'm going to just give a short history to our listeners. So I started on Twitter last February. My local comic shop, Dragon's Lairs, was early on, started to follow me. What was really nice about you guys were, also start to follow me early on. So I want to say thank you very much. Not only just following with me, but also interacting with me as well. So thank you guys for doing that.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if you follow us and we'll follow you back, and you talk to us, we'll talk back. Like
always,
it's the best way of making new internet friends.
No, thank you very much. And then let's see. Also, can either Matt or Bob, can you guys give me your store address and the hours? So, when it's safe to travel, and if the listeners are in your area and they want to go, hey, I want to go to a local comic shop. I heard about Gotham Underground Comics. Where are you guys located?
So we're in Ramsey, New Jersey. We're on 147 East Main Street. Store hours changed due to COVID. We were open 7 days a week.
Okay.
Now we're open Wednesday through Saturday, like 12 to 6. When everything is safe to travel again, it'll be back to, probably 6 days a week. I kind of like putting books out on Tuesday and not being interrupted, but we'll be back to normal, usually 12 to 8, or Saturdays we're 10 to 8 on normal times.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to start with for you guys, Matt and Bob, I'm going to ask, where did you guys grow up?
So I grew up in Oakland, New Jersey. That was where our first shop was. I kind of wanted to give back to my community. I lived there for the first 30 years of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So a small little quiet town, used to be like a lumber town back when. So
Washington stayed there.
Yeah, George Washington stayed in Oakland. That's their claim to fame.
Oakland is very close to Morristown, whereas the whole Washington's army stayed there. So that's we're a revolutionary town.
Revolution. And you grew up in?
I grew up in Park Ridge, which is northern. It's north. It's on the New York border.
Okay.
But the Rockland County border. So I grew up there, and then I kind of just moved around after I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. And now I've lived in Oakland the last 10 years, 8 years. I don't know. My wife will kill me because I don't remember. I don't remember anything. So,
Right.
and it's been
It's been a decade.
It's been, I think, because we got married in 2008, and then moved. I think we bought the house in 2011. So I think 10 years.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Drew from Comics for Fun and Profit has a question for you guys. What was your first comic that you guys read?
So the first comic I can remember reading,
Yes,
is Amazing Spider-Man 361. Actually, the first appearance of Carnage, and the only reason I would have been 8 when that came out, and the only reason I even remember that is because at that time, that comic store was overcharging on the day of release. So instead of $1.50 or $1.25, whatever it was then, they charged me and my older brother $10.
Oh my God!
And the only reason I remember is because my dad marched down to that store and was like, "You're taking advantage of an 8 and 11-year-old."
Yeah.
So that sticks out to me. It was a comic shop in Oakland back when I grew up. I don't remember. It was either like Books A Million or
A
plus comics.
Like A plus comics.
They didn't last very long. With the crash, they crashed, and
I grew up. My dad grew up in Franklin Lakes, which is the next town over from Oakland. So I actually grew up. I spent almost every weekend in Oakland, so I know the same places. Like I know the pizza place and stuff like that. So I know the store. I've been to that store too. And I still can't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, I can't remember. But that is my earliest memory of an actual comic. I mean, I'm sure I read little kid comics, but
but that's like your first actual comic.
Right.
Bob, what about you?
The first comic I remember reading was Batman 431, and my kid I went to school with. Now, I don't know if this is true, if I made this up, but I can remember that a kid I went to school with said that his uncle was Mike DiCarlo, the letterer.
Oh, yeah.
In the book. And so I guess he gave it to me or something like that. I remember, I know I had like little kids comics and stuff like that, but I was lucky enough that the town I grew up in, I was close enough to a store called Paperback Exchange, which sold it was all long boxes of comics, and like nothing was really like, it was that dusty kind of old, store.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, you'd be able to get like Silver Age Iron Man books for, $10.
Yeah.
But I got, so I got stuff there. And then another kid who was a few years older than me, his dad actually pitched for the Texas Rangers, and he for
That's cool.
Not very long, but he opened up a store, a card shop, and was a baseball, and also carried comics. So I can vividly remember buying Spawn 1 and how stoked I was.
That's dope.
But my town also had a convenience store, Cash's, and they had newsstand comics.
Yes.
So I always, every day, I just be like, "Mom, can I have, whatever?"
Yeah, see, I don't remember that. We're 3 years, I don't remember,
Yeah.
newsstand comics. I don't remember going and seeing a spinner rack and...
Yeah, I had a spinner. I had one store. I had a spinner rack.
I would have loved that.
Now, are they all gone now? Probably. Are they all worthless? Probably. Who knows? It was the late 80s.
That's so cool.
All right. Let's see. Where did you guys meet?
So we actually met at the shop at Gotham Underground. Bob came in to buy books. Again, after he ratted me out to my competition that, there was a store opening up close to them. Little did he know that I had gone to that same store since I was 7 or 5. So Corey, the owner of that store, told him, "Matt's a good dude. Go check him out."
He's a really nice guy. You should go see that. Check out his store. Like, okay. So I go in. And it's small, it's new. So obviously,
that store was really
my
small.
Expectations were not high, and we just kind of
clicked.
Yeah, no, and it was man, he's really struggling. It was him and his wife to get books up, and Wednesday morning, and
it was
trying to make sure to get everything done. And so I just started helping. I was like, I got nothing to do. I legitimately had nothing to do. I had no child. My wife was working. I had nothing to do.
Well, it's funny because back when you open a store, you're on probation period with Diamond. So you don't get your books on Tuesday, you get them on Wednesday for 6 months. And you're at the mercy of UPS because you could tell them, hey, be here at 10 because we open at 12.
Yes.
They might show up at 1. So me and my wife would be putting out books, and people would come in the store and just start digging through the boxes.
And grabbing the piles.
It was a nightmare. So when Bob finally started helping, it was so much faster that it was a godsend.
And then, as I said, I was like, your social media is really bad, man. Haven't you ever thought about maybe trying to do a little bit more with that?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, but I don't have any time. So you want to do it? You can do it. I was like, all right, I guess I'll do it. And you got to pay me in comics. And so I haven't paid for a new comic book in 5 years. So, and out of that, we've grown a friendship that is, it crosses all borders.
We talk every day.
It's not only do we talk every day, but like we're opposites on so many different things. That, like, we probably wouldn't normally be friends in a given situation, but it just worked,
No, that's great. And then, okay, so sorry, I'm going to continue on. Sorry, did you want to add anything else, Matt? Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. Okay,
because this kind of goes into, how did the idea of Gotham Underground Comics come about?
So I got married. My wife got pregnant. I was going to school actually for phlebotomy, drawing blood.
Yes.
And I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like working for other people. I never have. I've always wanted to own a store since I was 5. It was always my dream.
Yes.
So one day my grandfather pulled me aside and told me, why don't you open up that shop that you've always wanted to? And I told him, I need $50,000 to open. Grandpa, I can't do it. One day I woke up and I had $50,000 in my bank account from my grandfather. And he told me, go chase that dream. So I started working on it, and I started putting together a business plan. And he passed 2 weeks before we opened.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he was 99 years old. So he had a very beautiful life. And every day is a tribute to him. We keep going and keep grinding for Grandpa. So that's how it started. It was a shock. It was this wasn't planned. It is something, like I said, I've always wanted, but he made it happen.
I'm going to say that's really cool. That's really nice. And
he was a good dude.
It's also something I've always wanted to do, and I just get to piggyback on someone else.
You put in your work. It's all right.
I know I put in the effort, the work, and everything, but it did make it better to like actually get to like be doing something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, when you do something that you love, it's not work. So.
Like I'm happy. Like if I was, even if it was like a real job, I'd still be thrilled to wake up every morning and do.
Yeah, get to play with comics and talk to people that love them.
It beats video editing and all the other stupid things like
right. That's exactly it. Like, exactly.
All right. So how did the story get its name?
Oh man.
Don't forget to talk about our guy.
Stitches?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's actually what happened first was my brother came up with the idea of our logo. Mm-hmm. And one of his best friend's wife is a graphic designer. So we kind of told her what we wanted and she kind of ran with it. And once we saw the logo, we kind of wanted it to be a speakeasy-esque story of Stitches is the leader of the resistance and superheroes band. So he leads the charge, and that's it was kind of the underground of Gotham,
Yes.
Funny with how things turned out, but that's really how it started. It was just we kind of stumbled upon it, and I didn't even know it was a comic series. I didn't know Gotham Underground was a comic series.
Oh, okay, no, yeah.
And that's the question I always get. Oh, you must have loved that storyline. I'm like, I've never read it. Never, but one of my customers like a year ago brought me in all of them, and now they're framed on our wall. Pretty cool.
So now, can you describe your logo? Because of course, this is for an audio podcast, and if people will visit your website, they'll see the logo. But
so the logo is kind of a gangster. He kind of he's pinstripe and suspenders and a fedora, and he's kind of just. It's kind of the Joker meets V for Vendetta-esque type character. He's, I mean, if you look at all the logos, I think we have the best logo of a comic store that I've ever seen. Now, I'm obviously a little biased in that, but that's the thing we get comments on most is like, oh, it's such a great logo, and oh, I want this on a hat, oh, I want this on a shirt. Oh.
But it's pretty cool because when I first see it, it's because it reminds me a little bit about the Joker, and he's got that finger like shh type deal. It's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Okay, your merchandise stuff, I'm going to touch about that a little bit later because I'm sure people are going to ask where can I buy shirts or the hoodie that you have, hoodie, right? You have on, So okay, all right. Can you tell me how big is the store?
So the current store is 1,100 square feet. It's separated into 3, I'll call them showrooms.
Okay.
One we have is just comics, and then one is like back issues and a few toys. Then we have a pop room. We actually have a kitchen, weird enough. No stove or anything, but we got a fridge. We have cabinets, and then I have my office. But so of showroom, probably 900 feet.
Okay.
It's a decent sized store. We're probably like a mid-size, for a comic shop, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's a very open floor plan.
Okay. Did you tell them that it was a gallery?
Yeah, it was an art gallery.
So we have awesome track lighting.
Yeah, we have track lighting everywhere, and
that's pretty cool.
Floors.
Yeah. It's a very upscale looking shop.
We had lots of wall space. Not anymore, but we,
no, but
wall space.
Yeah, it was the perfect location. We're right on the main road.
Yes.
We used to be next to a movie theater, but they went under. For obvious.
Yeah, that was a huge part.
So there's just tons of it's a main street. There's a farmers market from May to October every Sunday.
Yeah.
So our Sundays are always really, you just get random people coming in. So
no, the location's amazing. Ramsey was a huge move for us. It worked out really well. It's probably about double the size of our previous store,
but with a basement, a kitchen, So we have so much that we don't even realize. We had so it's nice. When I come in here, I'm always amazed at how clean and nice everything is. And it might be white and just black and white, and we didn't really kind of whatever, but it just looks so much cleaner than so many other places that I've been.
Yeah, it's not cluttered. There's no boxes everywhere. It's very simple. It's laid out. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way I couldn't do it.
I wouldn't be able to. And right now we have some dead stock boxes up here. Because we used to take them to shows, our local shows, and we just sell all our dead stock. Now they've been piling up for a year. I'm like, too much clutter. So much clutter.
Yeah, that'll be gone. It'll be gone in spring.
Yeah, but Matt and Bob, because it sounds like your shop. Because what I'm hearing from you guys take pride in your shop. It's like when you have someone, first-time customer that walks in, they're going to go, this is a nice setup.
Yeah.
Because Bob, I know what you're talking about. It's like, I know there was one comic shop. I step in there and it's like, and they've closed down a long time ago. It was like, musty. It was like, it just felt real dusty and old.
I couldn't own a shop. That was my first thing, was everything had to be in order and everything had to be clean.
Yes.
don't get me wrong, I love diving through some of those old dusty shops, but I couldn't own one. I couldn't live there, you know?
Yeah.
So we take pride in keeping our shop clean. You know, every spring we power wash the building. We, you know, paint whatever needs to be painted. I walk around like a madman with those magic erasers, and any scuffs on the wall, like, it's something that
we like to hear from people, like even in Oakland, it was,
right.
Man, your shop is so clean.
Yeah, I want you to bring your kids in and be like, wow, this place is clean. And obviously now with the pandemic, that's helped a ton because we already kept those standards. So
yes. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. There is like, there's going to be
clutter. Yeah, there's going to be some
like, there's toys sitting up here that have been here for 2 years. So,
yeah, I dust them though. That's all right.
But like, things get a little dusty, things get a little whatever. But we stay on top of it. And I said it's super hard with, just Matt basically by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have help from some, other customers who just decide to help too. But like, it's hard to maintain all that. And
yeah, I'm always here.
Yeah. But oh, sorry, Matt. I was just going to comment because, I know this is, audio podcast, but I'm doing this over Zoom and I can see behind you, on the wall, the complete covers of some of your back issues. It's not like layered upon, like, I think, how some, because there's not enough.
They stagger them. Yeah, no, I want everything full picture.
So
I'm worried about cramming, an extra 50 books up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you come and you say, hey, I'm looking for this, and I have a couple boxes of the wall books and stuff, you can come and I'll show you whatever I have. I rather the display look nice.
Yes, yeah, because then it's clear that that's what I'm looking for, and then all you got to do is just, here, let me get it for you, instead of going, well, is that Green Lantern 190? Right. And then you're kind of, yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Let me continue on. Now, when did the store open up?
So the store opened in March of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was the 24th, if I'm correct. But yeah, so we're going on 5 years. The 5 years, that's, a couple weeks here.
And we moved here.
We moved here in 2018. April 2nd.
Right. Our grand opening was Free Comic Book Day 2017.
Right. We had a soft opening for a month, and then, so we've been here for almost 3 years. And
mm-hmm. But the shop has been around for almost 5 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to say congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's a crazy ride.
I'm just asking, and this is off the cuff, but I know because of the pandemic and stuff. I don't know what your guys' restrictions are in pandemic or the quarantine restrictions right now. But are you guys going to try to do something for your 5th anniversary to celebrate?
Funny, we were actually talking about that this morning, and
we've been talking about.
We're going to wait until the spring, maybe June, because we're just talking to a few creators, and we'll do something outside. We'll have a big 5-year anniversary sale, and we'll have a couple artists here or to sketch some blank covers. Mm-hmm. Nice day outside. We'll provide maybe some, I don't know,
if we're allowed to,
right? Whatever we're allowed to do, we'll go as big as possible for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. How else, besides social media, how else do you guys promote the store? Like, do you guys try to go for newspaper ads, TV ads?
We tried print marketing in the beginning, and
in Oakland,
and we didn't really see any return on it. We were in the newspaper, we were in a few magazines. Mm-hmm. We've actually even had ads in comics. So now with just social media, word of mouth, we've been around long enough now that we also have a few stores. Like there's a video game store in Hillsdale. Over. If anybody goes in there with, comics or looking for stuff, he sends them here and vice versa. So we have a couple stores like that we, work with.
Also had the last few years we've been mentioned, we didn't win obviously, but in out of all of Bergen County, 201 magazine, we've been in the top top four, the finalists in best bookstore only first, and now this year it was
best collectible
shop.
Oh,
So that helps being in, that magazine. It does get circulated around the county pretty, so. But yeah, it's word of mouth, it's social media
and events. I mean, we told you we had the
shows and stuff.
We do the shows, so we always bring business cards. We at our local movie theater, if they play Avengers, we're there handing out comics when they were there. So we do stuff like that as well, local things, just to spread word.
I'm gonna go off the cuff. So when that previous movie theater was around, so if they're, like you said, they're playing Avengers, were you guys did you guys have a table there, or how did that?
Yeah, we would be in their lobby, and we would have comics, we'd have pop. We'd always bring whatever movie was happening. We'd bring Thanos pops and stuff like that, and you'd always get questions, and then one of us would be here because if they're stopping at the table, they're going to say, "Oh, where are you located?" And we're like, "Oh, we're 4 stores down."
Yes.
And that movie theater helped so much with, he would do the same thing. They'd leave the movie theater and he'd be like, "Oh, go check out Gotham Underground."
Yes.
And we'd get swarmed with people after the movie.
Also we had a commercial that aired before the
we did that too for advertising.
At the movie theater we did a commercial
before the previews we had we're unstable. Are we freezing up?
No, you guys are fine.
So we before the previews our ad played at the movie theater twice before every movie.
Oh, cool. So wow, that's pretty cool. So out of that increased foot traffic, this is off the cuff too. If you don't have to give me specific numbers, but did you guys get repeat customers after that?
Yes. Oh yeah, we'd have repeat customers a lot.
Oh, okay, all right. But let's say after someone watched Avengers movie, they go, "Hey, okay, I'll go by your store." It wasn't a one-time deal. They would come back again.
I mean, not all, but yeah, we had plenty of customers that would come in. "Oh, I want to see where Thanos originated," and they'd start picking up Thanos comics, and then that would, springboard it into, now I want to check out the Guardians. Now I want to check out Avengers, and so yeah, we got plenty of repeat customers from that.
That is pretty cool.
It was a good gig.
That's really good. Now, before the pandemic and everything, I know you guys say you went to shows and events. Which cons did you guys go to?
So we haven't done any of the big ones. We haven't done San Diego or Chicago or New York. But we have 2 local shows. We have 1 local show a month from this guy named John Paul. It's in 3 different towns. Yeah, New Jersey Comic Promotions, yeah. And then we would do the local big ones like Garden State Comic Fest and East Coast Comic Con and New Jersey Comic Book Expo. Shows were always a good time.
We did the one on Long Island. I can't remember that
Suffolk County Comic Show.
That was a little bit on the bigger end with more guests and stuff like that.
Right.
We did, some ones that weren't kind of con, which was this thing, was really not a comic book.
It was really a cosplay show.
Yeah, cosplay, anime type thing. But
we do whatever shows we can, whenever we can.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What comic publishers do you carry most on your shelves right now? And just give me a general idea,
Generally, right now, I said it's Marvel.
Yes.
Image. IDW, Boom,
Mad Cave.
Yeah, I was kind of had a little list in my head. So we listed Mad Cave. We really love the guys at Mad Cave. So Mad Cave, Oni Press, Scout, Source Point, AWA, Abstract.
Pretty much everything.
It's Alive.
We try to carry. I'd say we probably carry 95% of publishers. We don't do Eros or Zenoscope
and we don't do every book from every publisher, but
we try.
We grab different things from from all over, and we've had to cut down a lot. I mean, we used to be the indie store, but we still kind of are in a way, but
100%. But with the pandemic and we shifted a
Behemoth,
bit. We'll go back.
Yeah, so it's basically when we're going through, especially when I go through and I do like the way we kind of do the initial order is like I kind of go through it once
Mm-hmm.
with like, our pull information, and then Matt goes back through and like looks at it. But I'll go through and I'll look at all the indie stuff, and I'm
Yes.
like, I was just like, oh, I'd read this.
Yeah,
I'd read this.
I'll take this.
I'd read this, and then I'm like, and then there's some stuff obviously where it's like, but a couple companies that we will only, definitely back: Mad Cave, Black Box. Because they just how good they are to
Us.
That's good.
Yep.
Let's see, and
if you notice, we no DC.
No DC.
well, we'll get into that.
We'll get there.
Yeah, and let's see. Also, can you just let's see, what's like? Maybe I've already. I'm just gonna ask this. So, what's kind of like your top selling titles right now?
Yeah.
Spider-Man by far.
Yeah, Spider-Man is the big seller.
But
and Star Wars.
Star Wars, Venom, anything Donny Cates does right now,
yeah.
you can't miss out. You got to do.
Weird things sell out sometimes too.
Yeah, I mean,
but our predominant most selling, it's like
Spider-Man by far.
Spider-Man, Star Wars, Venom. Anything Star Wars too.
Yeah,
It's
A
really
Strange
good.
Academy does really well. Thor again, Cates.
Mm-hmm.
Those would be our best. As far as independence, Ice Cream Man crushes it here. Something's Killing the Children does really good. Nottingham that came out this week from Mad Cave.
Yeah.
We sold out in a few hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. Let's say someone comes in, they want to do a special order, of a title that you guys don't carry. Can you guys accommodate?
Yeah,
As long as
they give us time.
And as long as they give us time and it's available,
we'll get it.
100% we can get it.
We've had people come in the week before, and then it gets tricky once it passes the FOC, and it gets a little tricky.
Depending on how popular the book was. So,
right. If you came in today and wanted a book that came out in May, no problem. We'll get it. That's easy. And we don't mind ordering one of a title, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Just depends on timing.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, and it's also a book that's too old is no longer
right.
They're not going to have it anymore. So it's a mixture. It can't be too
far removed.
Yeah, don't go too far away. Don't go too close. So but as long as you give us the time, we will order anything that you want. Within reason. Money monetarily. We're not going to order you a $400, artifact statue without any kind of down payment.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Do you carry any local artist comics that's only specific for your area?
So we have, anytime someone contacts us, we try to, as long as it makes sense financially, to carry them. Currently, actually, we just on Saturday had the artist and creator of 47 Furious Tales.
Yeah, 47 Furious Tales.
Come in.
Sonoma Publishing.
Yep.
The artist she lives in Dover, but Sam, the guy who owns it or runs it, he's in Kentucky.
Yep, and they came Saturday. We carried their books. We've probably carried
Christian Esperanto. He has a book called War that we carried. He's Jersey based.
Yep.
I can't remember the guy who made up a Num Num Sushi as kids kind of book that we loved that sold really well. And then Matt Ganos, he has this thing called Bad Education. He's not an artist. He takes pictures of miniatures, and he does this horror book called Bad Intentions, Bad Education, Bad.
It's not Bad Education, but
Bad Intentions. It's bad something. He's Mask Effects, but it's spelled weird on Instagram, and you can see what he does also on YouTube. He takes these little miniatures and he makes their leather and weird, and
it's crazy.
It takes him so long, but yeah, like he lives in Nanuet, which is only maybe 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So as long as you kind of come in and you play it cool, like we've had some people.
Stuff.
Yeah, we've had some people are like, well, it's going to cost you $150 for that. I'm like, well, like we gotta.
When with local books that are, not mainstream, there's a certain price point that people just won't buy it. You
Yes.
know, no one's going to buy an independent book for $10. It just,
Yeah.
and trust me, I'm not knocking it. I get printing is crazy expensive.
Yes.
You got to pay the artist, you got to pay the, letter, everybody. But if you can keep it $5.99 and down, I can talk someone into it. I can build it up. I can hype it up.
Yeah.
To hype up a $10 book is difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What other pop culture products do you guys sell at the store? I know you guys said one room is dedicated. Is it to the Funko Pops?
Yeah, well, it's Funko
Half
Pop. Yeah, it's half and half. It's got Funko Pop. It's got T-shirts, hats,
Different types of Q figs and different types of like little collectible toys.
We have a couple board games, nothing crazy. We sell toys, Marvel Legends and Selects and Star Wars and
reaction
Migos.
figures and the McFarlane toys we had. And, we have like 90. We had a huge collection of basically 90 Star Wars toys that was on this table that we're on right now.
Yeah.
That went from filling the table to there's not that much left.
We carry pretty much most things. We don't do a lot of statues. We have some, but
like mostly PVC. We don't do those.
We don't do like the
$400
$400 statues. It just doesn't. They sit forever.
Kobayashis and artifacts. And
we
stuff
don't
like
do
that,
a lot of like Legos, but we do a little bit of everything.
We have minifigs. Like the Lego Men.
Yeah.
That
keychains. We have lanyard.
Keychains.
You name it. We have
some
cards.
At times we had we had a movie prop replica.
Yeah, that was from Constantine. That was really cool. It was like zombie hands holding that cross shotgun.
The golden gun.
Yeah, there was only 7 made, and we had one. It was an awesome piece.
Pins. Before the pandemic restrictions, we sold individual Pokemon cards,
Magic,
for 10 cents a piece.
Yeah.
Since then, we've taken that away. We made little pack mystery goodie bags, and for $1 you get.
Because we really can't have people rifling through cards.
Yeah,
right?
Just don't touch everybody touching everything. So
yeah.
we made a little goodie bag. We did carry Magic. We do carry Magic, not a lot, not a lot at all. Pokemon. It's a long story, but we have carried it. The booster packs and the kind of stuff like that. Right now, we actually are selling a lot of individual of the price, kind of like $10, $20, $15 cards, stuff like that. So, and then obviously comics, tons of dollar books, trades, stuff like that. Not a lot of trades. I know a lot of places are big on trades, but we found that over the years they don't sell as well.
No, okay,
But we do have a lot of discounted $5 trades and boxes and stuff like that. So
a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Now this is where I'm going to point out you guys. So you said you guys sell T-shirts and stuff.
Yep.
You guys want to promote your you guys shirts and.
So we have sweatshirts. We have T-shirts. We have actually tank tops with our logo on them. Face masks with our logo on them. Sweatshirts, obviously we're moving out of sweatshirt season, but we try to keep, like 2 of every size in stock of whatever we can. And we do really well on our own merchandise. Other T-shirts of random characters, it's tougher and tougher because people aren't going to pay $20 for a T-shirt at a comic store when they can go to Walmart and buy them for $5.
That's why, unless we can find, as I said, ordering through the distributor
doesn't work.
They cost too much. But if we can find them elsewhere, we know a couple of people who do their own printings.
Yep.
So
we'll pick those up. Yeah, but our stuff is always available. You can email us your size. Let us know what you want, and we can get it made, and either you can pick it up or, we can always ship it. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking, what's the price range for your guys' logo?
So sweatshirts, we were selling for $25.
25.
Yeah. And our T-shirts are $10. I mean, our masks are $10. That's really it. I mean, $25 to get a sweatshirt from Gotham Underground.
That's a pretty good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus shipping.
We're definitely going to be ordering one.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Let me, this part I'm just gonna. So, okay, you already talked about selling Magic cards. I'm just asking. Before the pandemic, did you guys do any of those Magic games or Pokemon games?
So we actually used to hold video game tournaments, retro video game tournaments. 20, 30 kids in the store. It was insane. We stopped that. They started damaging the store.
Oh, God. But they brought their own TVs. They brought their own systems. So we didn't have to do anything except put tables up. And it was fine, but they stopped listening to us.
Yeah,
they started bringing drinks and knocking things over and not hitting the shelves.
We've only done a couple Pokemon tournaments, nothing crazy.
We did a Pokemon trade event, which went back in Oakland, which was mostly we tried to do it for little kids. One adult did show up, which
Here we don't really have. We have so much stuff now that we really don't have the room for Pokemon events and stuff like that. Like even like the signings, we have to move back issue bins, and we have so much more stuff now.
Oh yeah,
that it's harder to.
The other thing too with like the Magic is there's too many rules. You have to get signed up.
Yeah, with Magic it's tough.
It's very hard. You can't be like, let's have Friday night Magic. No, so when we did it, it was Magic on a Friday.
Yeah, because you have to actually take a class. To have Friday night Magic. Yeah, you have to do 3 hours of phone interviews.
It's crazy.
So when you're the only person at the shop and you're on an interview and someone walks in, what are you supposed to tell them? Hey, sorry, can you please leave so I can finish my phone interview?
Yeah.
So I would try to help them, and Wizard would hang up on me, and then they told me that I got a strike against me and one more, and I'd be kicked out of the program. So I just said, don't worry about it. I don't need to have your tournaments that bad.
No, but I think but for you guys, it sounds like more of you guys are focused on something like comics and stuff. It's not like these guys don't have space. It's just your focus is different on a different section.
We had to make a decision relatively early on, I think, which we've talked about before, where it was like, what are we going to do? We can either be a toy store, we can be a comic book store, we can be a gaming store. Like, what are we going to be? Like, we're going to be a comic book store that just has a little bit of extra stuff. That way it makes it, because if you try to do, like, there's too many places that it's like, we carry records and we carry VHS cassettes and we carry this and we carry this. First of all, we can't afford, buying all these crazy collections or going junk hunting. Like,
and another factor of that is 2 miles down the road, there is a store. They've been around a long time. They hold a lot of tournaments. So why try to compete with them when we could just do our own thing?
So but also too, that's kind of good too, because you guys are also trying to work with other stores. Like, okay, I'm not gonna, if you guys are selling records or VHS tape, old VHS tapes, we're not going to carry that. But if someone comes in, I'll recommend them to go to you guys.
Right. We do a lot of that.
And there's other people like that we know that will buy that kind of stuff. We'll buy old CDs and things like that. And I'll hit him up and just be like, hey, let me check these out. Like, that way, and then if we get a little bit off the top, for a little finder's fee, thanks, but like, we try to help the person out by getting their thing sold without being ripped off. And, because again, you can go a lot of places where people are just going to be like, oh yeah, it's $10, $10. And, so, we try to help everyone out so everyone can win. Right. But again, making a decision on what you are, it seems like that was the easiest, because it's like we know what we need to concentrate on as opposed to, like, oh man, the records and this and that and exactly. So there's a town close as Nyack that has a record store and a comic book store in it. Like, so that's, I said, maybe a half hour from us.
Right.
Not a far drive. Like, so there's not a real, like, again, why compete against people when we don't have to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. This one is going to be a little bit off the cuff because, and I'm sorry, I forgot to include this in the questions when I sent it to you guys.
Yeah.
This question is from John from the Comic Book Page podcast. For your regular customers, do you have a pull list for them? I'm just asking, do you guys have like any certain discounts for them? Because I know one store used to do this here locally in Hawaii. So yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we have a pull box, which is funny. Some people call it a reserve list, subscription box. It's a pull list, and you get 10% off on all your pull book. If you come in, you have 10 pull books, and then you take another 10. I don't discount the others, but what you reserve, you get discounted on. We used to do a loyalty card. We just figured 10% off the top's a better way to do it.
And people weren't.
They would always forget the card.
Honestly, I have one for the car wash I go to. I took it out of my wallet while I was at the car wash, and I didn't even hand it to her. So like I the loyalty card, it's like whatever, but we also discount like veterans, first responders. Like if you let us know,
pull list. People don't realize how much that helps.
Yeah,
everybody. If you're going into your store on a weekly basis, have a pull list. It helps a ton.
And pick it up.
It helps with you. Yeah, right, and pick it up. It helps, so you don't miss out on books, because there are times we order a book and within an hour we're sold out. So though you're my weekly customer, I wasn't sure you wanted it. It got taken.
Yes.
So it helps with the order. It helps you. Pull lists are a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your local shop and do it.
You can't be too general about it either. You can't just say all X-Men books. Well, then when I give you Children of the Atom, I didn't want this.
Yeah, have your specific titles.
You got the titles have to be specific. Or if it's an event, like King in Black. Okay, do you just want the King in Black books, or do you want all of the King in Black and tie-ins? Also months. We need. We really need our initials. 2 months, right?
2 months.
2 months. Like, really, you want it going? Like, yeah, you can go on FOC, but you want a little, like a smaller print book.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to get it on the initial. So, again, a pull list is really, really important. And again, it doesn't work where you're just like, hey, it's the day before. Hey, man,
right? You need to be out in front.
You mind throwing me if we have it, yeah, sure. But a pull list is it's really important. It's really important for the store. It's really important for to know how many books to order. Because again, we can be ordering 25 of some book because somebody's it's on 25 pull lists.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can be ordering 10 and 25 people want it, but don't tell us. So,
Well, lists are important.
Yes, very important. And picking them up.
All right. So, I'm going to go into, I'm going to start going, this is where the questions are going to change up a little bit. So we know last year on March 13th, that it was declared, the coronavirus was declared a national emergency. So can you guys talk about what happened to the store during that time?
We actually shut down a week before the actual shutdown.
Yep.
We were, I guess, I don't know, my wife works in the county. Your mom works in the town government. So we kind of had some kind of this is what people are talking about. And we're like, let's not chance it. Let's just shut it down and get ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
And which actually worked out because then
we all shut down.
On that, we all shut down.
It was definitely insane, to say the least. I mean, no one had ever seen that. And even so just to show you, when we shut down, the first thing my landlord did was call me and say, we got to figure out, I obviously don't want to charge you full, but I'm going to need something.
Yes.
And he worked with us to figure out, well, if you're closed, so we could only do curbside pickup or shipping. And it's funny because everybody thought during that time, it was easier for shop owners or shop employees when really it was so much more work and so much, obviously, more stressful.
It was grind. It was a stress
grind.
and a grind, and it was trying to figure out how are we going to keep this going with Diamond with new books coming in. We're not making the same amount of money.
Yes.
What are we going to do? So when Diamond shut down, it was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people were so against it, and I just breathed a sigh of relief. Like, that 5 weeks,
$1,500 a week that we don't have to worry about, if not more.
It was a huge sigh of relief. And okay, now we can try to again pivot to figure out how to keep going. And during that time, we had some customers that stepped up and asked for back issues, and
nice.
we still made some money. But man, that was. It seems so long ago, but it seems like yesterday at the same time. I tell everybody this is the longest yet shortest year of my life.
Yes.
March seemed like it took 7 years, but then when spring hit, it seemed really fast. It was a
very fast summer, and then it was that spring was long. It was trying to figure out stuff to do, and the thing is, for the two of us, he's got a new his other son was born in March.
Yeah, my son was born February 28th.
Oh, sorry, February. Yeah, sorry.
He was born 2 weeks before the shutdown. Yeah, so it was insane.
And Cole was 4, so you had a newborn and a 4-year-old, right? And my son was 2 and a little bit. So we're doing this with little kids trying to figure this out. Why was what's going on? When you keep going to the store, what you have to do another online sale, sorry, we have to just try to make money,
it was crazy.
When the shows stopped, it was we couldn't get rid of our dead stock, we couldn't, so it was pivoting into again, we did not do online stuff really, and now we do. Now we're like seasoned pros.
Now we're ready for everything.
Yeah. We're good. We're so good at shipping now, and we can the curbside, whatever. We did everything anybody really wanted. It was that was the thing. It was you want okay, yeah, you got.
We even offered delivery.
We did.
Oh, that's nice.
As long as you were within 10 miles of the shop, I would drive and deliver your books to you.
I don't even think anybody really took us up on it, but
only one,
yeah. But
we offered it.
It was out. You know what I mean? We didn't.
A few.
Yeah. So it
was crazy.
Yeah, but it was hard. It wasn't, and it's obviously the worst thing because you're thinking of how bad, but when then you look at it and you go, how many stores shuttered on our main street?
Yeah. They said that
we made it.
Yeah, they said 1/3 of businesses in New Jersey, the state we're in, closed during the pandemic forever. That's an insane number to think about.
And this isn't to harp on any politics or anything like that, but we got nothing.
Yeah,
right.
We got nothing.
Zero help
from anyone except Mad Cave Studios, who did a GoFundMe that gave $1,000 to the stores that. Right,
we got $113.
$113. Okay, $113. But they gave that to
every shop,
all the store that participated with them.
Right.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
We anything from anyone.
No.
No, the government was not there to give.
No one was there.
And then he got denied for because you don't have an employee.
Yep.
Because we don't have a canceled rent check.
Yeah.
But we're paying rent. We're he doesn't have an employee. We're paying rent. What are you supposed to do? So again, it's not a political thing. It's just that's what happened, and the fact that we know places that did get help and still didn't make it. It's almost like we did it. We're but it's not over yet.
No, we're still doing it. So we'll see what happens.
So it's not like we can breathe a sigh of relief, but
we're still going strong.
We're doing it. Yeah. So.
But yeah, I think because because I'm sorry that you guys didn't get any. And like I said, we're not making this a political thing. It's just a fact where you applied for whatever assistance, got nothing, but yet and like you said, you pivot. You had to, like, okay, we have to do online sales. We have to do curbside. You're also willing to do delivery within a 10-mile radius. I mean, you basically strengthen and grew your shop more.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because as terrible as the pandemic is, part of it was almost a blessing because it made the shop stronger. It made us think in ways that we never thought before, like you said. And once, the light's at the end of the tunnel and business kind of returns to normal, we'll be making more money than ever because of all the extra things we now do.
We were complacent where we were.
Right.
We hit a plateau,
mm-hmm.
and it was good. We could have been doing better.
More, yeah, right.
But we were happy. We were like, all right, this is good. We're at this rate, we should be wherever. And then it happened, and it was like, oh man.
Oh yeah, we got to do more again.
But now that we have this experience,
mm-hmm.
we can apply this to back when we can go do our shows,
right.
Back when we can have our own, when we're having our outside sales, when we're doing things, we're going to be able to apply. Not only are we doing that, we're going to be doing this other stuff. So it's only going to be better.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm just asking, top of your head, like, I know you guys have your website, your Facebook, like were you guys shipping stuff, across the United States?
Yeah, we were doing Instagram live sales.
Okay.
And, where we would put a book up here and it would say like $10 and people would claim it. I mean, we've shipped to Canada, we've shipped to Mexico, we've shipped to England,
Puerto
Rico, and then obviously everywhere in the United States, even as far as Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So someone in the military.
We actually have someone in Hawaii, one of our eBay buyers, who actually buys multiple times from eBay.
Yep.
So like, every time that comes up, I'm like, that's the guy from Hawaii.
Yep. So I mean, we ship everywhere. As long as you're willing to pay the shipping in a different country, I don't care. I'll fill out the cost.
Yeah, like if you just have to know that it's going to cost you $60.
Right. Exactly. I can't tell the post office to charge you less, but I don't mind packing it and shipping it.
Yeah. And I said our eBay also grew. Like, we started in January,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't really that great.
Right, but we didn't push it. We didn't try it.
But once we closed, it was like, first of all, somebody else was doing it, and they did a good job. But I thought it could have just been visual.
Well, not only that, but also with you running social media,
it made more sense.
It made more sense for you to run eBay because you could post it to our social media.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so it was being pushed harder, and like the views on a single post would go from 10 to 50.
Right.
Yes.
And so it jumped. I mean, roughly the last year was roughly 18,
something like that. Yeah.
Like 18K last year,
mm-hmm.
Which is not. We didn't expect that at all.
No.
Like it was like what.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Like, so, and I know people, complain about online selling platforms, all of them, but there's nowhere better. There's no, Instagram really is the one place where you can sell without any kind of fees other than your PayPal, Venmo, whatever.
But it doesn't have eBay's.
But it doesn't, you don't reach, even with the amount of followers, you don't reach the same amount of people, so, but on online was something. People are like, can you do it through your website? Like, no, we don't have that kind of. Like, that's a lot. I'm not an IT guy. I'm not a web developer. I'm not. I can't set up a website to order through. Like it's really basically just an ad. It's a paper. It's an ad. It's a paper ad online with some links to some other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna. Now, this is where we're going to start moving into one of the pivots that happened last year was when DC moved away from Diamond last year. Can you talk about the challenges of that?
Not a problem.
We talked about it an awful lot.
So, first of all, let me start with DC leaving Diamond during the beginning of a pandemic
Horrible.
is horrible.
Mm-hmm. And coming from Batman was my number one guy. Mm-hmm. Green Arrow. Those are my two favorite superheroes.
So yeah, he's
so I was like, you got like it hurt. It hurt personally.
I think that was the start of seeing that DC didn't care about your local comic shop. Mm-hmm. You know, they've said they want it in big box retail and out of comic stores, and I think that's a giant mistake. And I know I own a comic shop, so you know why wouldn't I say that? But they've tried in big box retail. GameStop failed. Mm-hmm. Toys R Us failed. Mm-hmm. Walmart and Target are failing. Mm-hmm. So if you can't survive in Toys R Us, Walmart, or GameStop, where else are you going to put it besides your local comic shop? You know, we're the front lines of comics. And that, you know, I tell people that all the time. Without comic shops, I don't think comics are really going to be a thing. That's just bottom line. They'll always be there.
They'll be digital.
Be digital okay, comics, but there
won't be your paper collector. Your collector will be gone.
Right.
Your reader will still be there, but your collector will be gone.
So when they left and they created the shell company UCS, which was, we all know, just Midtown Comics, mm-hmm. We had to give them our tax ID and our credit card information, mm-hmm. which to me didn't make sense. You know, that's like asking Target to order through Walmart. They're never going to go for it. But after, a couple weeks of me and Bob talking what was best for the store, we decided to do it anyway. And we got our first shipment from
we figured
Midtown.
Our customers are more important
right.
than our pettiness with how we feel.
So we ordered, and the first week they came, second week, nothing. So I call UCS and they came in worse than Diamond packaging. It came in a thin cardboard box that was all bent. The books were all out of shape. Nothing was. It was terrible. Yeah.
And considering when you buy a book from Midtown, I'm sure you probably have it. It comes in a T folder and their bag inside.
Right.
Like it's not like they, you know. So
we didn't get the order. I called. They said, "Don't worry, it's on its way." I said, "You got it."
Keep checking. We're checking every day.
The next week, no shipment again. I call. It's on its way. After 4 weeks of the same thing, I said, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Funny enough, that same week, Midtown/UCS discontinued their phone lines. They disconnected, rather, their phone lines because they, in their words, it's easier to assist you through emails. I don't know what world it's easier to assist in an email than it is a conversation. But sure enough, that's how it went. So we decided, listen, this isn't working. We're not going to pay for 5 weeks of comics at once anyway. We decided to drop DC as a store. We were one of a few, not a few. And every week there was a few more and a few more. And I think now, the last number I read was that 25% of shops mm-hmm. in the United States don't carry DC.
Oh.
So with Lunar now taking over, we've talked about it. From what I hear, the shipping is more expensive because they're a West Coast-based company. I can't swear by that. Again, this is just hearsay.
Yeah.
So instead of, a $2 profit per book, it's more like $1 profit per book. And with that, and with, like I said, DC doesn't sell all that great for us.
Yeah.
Dead stock would kill any profit we had.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not really moved on yet.
I'm sorry, Matt. You kind of froze up for a bit. Sorry. So I know you said that big.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we just stopped DC. We have not continued yet. It's something we're talking about, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. And then, but like you said, your shop, Batman's your bestseller. Everything else,
right? As DC,
Batman is right. As DC, Batman did great. Other than that, they They sit on the shelf.
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, they're self-showing.
Superman.
Yeah, nobody liked them.
Even with Bendis writing it, just didn't
Yeah,
sell.
that's the thing. They brought all these people, and you think that, it's going to be great. And, honestly, my view of the whole thing is that I think it has less to do with actually DC, air quotes.
Yeah.
DC is a publisher than it does with Warner Brothers, AT&T. AT&T is the one calling the shots to everyone, and they're saying, "Hey, Warner Brothers, your movies stink. Like, you have to make your movies." And then Warner Brothers is like, "Well, you guys got to make better comics." And they're all there's probably infighting all amongst them. And really, all AT&T cares about is having the intellectual property.
Yes.
So really, why do they care about having the books? Mm-hmm. They have the rights to the characters. I think it's much more of a corporate game that's been played, and it's just affecting everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
At the bottom, from the shops to the readers to whoever. Again, I never went. Going to toy stores when I was a kid, I never saw like comic books and stuff. I was either off the rack or a comic book store. I feel kind of. There's part of me that feels kind of bad that this happened, but
out of our control.
It's there's other stores. And like, listen, if you're willing to stick with us for everything else, awesome. But I think the people who really only bought DC, they left, and it is what it is. There's
right. Nothing we can do about it. And
again, as I said, all the Vertigo stuff that's DC. It's DC Vertigo. That was my favorite stuff. Jeff, the Sweet Tooth remake, the sequel to Sweet Tooth.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know they did that. I'm like, no, what was the book that I wanted? Oh, American Vampire.
Yep.
The new American Vampire series. I'm like, dude, so he's asking around. Nobody has it. I'm like, if I had only known. But we don't look at DC. I don't look at DC because they're not in previews. So it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
We check our list every week, our invoice. And it's like, there's no DC anywhere.
My guess is that DC within the next year, they get sold. I wouldn't even be shocked, honestly, if Disney bought it and owned right to both. I think eventually. Now, I hear Lunar's doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Lunar, but I have a feeling they'll be back in Diamond soon enough.
Yeah, I think, I'm going to say you're probably right. Yeah. So I'm going to go back. So I know, like you said, for DC, your best-selling comic is Batman. So I know this is going to sound like a stupid question. So I take it you order more of the Batman titles, and then have you cut down less, or maybe haven't brought in any of, like, have you cut down ordering less of the Wonder Woman?
We don't have any. We don't have any.
We have
DC.
we have zero DC comic books in this store. Current. I mean, like current DC books. We have zero. We have not carried DC since
a year. Since the shutdown.
End of March or April.
Yeah, we don't have anything DC anymore.
Okay.
Like, there's still a few things that we have on the shelf, and obviously back issues and whatnot. But like,
no current books.
No current books. And you know what? Again, we're very creatively. The books that I thought were going to be so great were just not very good. Like all the Black Label stuff.
Yeah.
And it was last year again, but I wasn't. Jeff Lemire is like one of my favorite top 5 writers, and the question that he did, I didn't like it. Like, and so it's hard. It's hard when you're people that you look Scott Snyder's coming back doing a Batman book, and I'm like, yeah, and I didn't like it. I wasn't very thrilled with the output anyway. So again, it is what it is, and hopefully one day they'll come back, but there's nothing we can do for now. So
okay, so I'm just going to clarify for the listeners again. So right now, currently, you guys are not carrying any DC books. What if there's a customer? What if one of your regular customers wants a Batman book or a current Aquaman series, or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't think any one of our customers read Aquaman.
Okay,
that was one of the titles before the pandemic. We started trimming, and we stopped ordering Aquaman. So. Example taken though. If someone comes in asking for a DC, like if it's if it's one of our pull customers who's in all the time, we'll try to contact another store and see if they have it. Again, it's not like we're not going to get, we get charged. It's not like we get it for cost, so it's like they get it for, we're not going to charge them, $10 for a $5 comic, but it's just that you have to be like, we're tight with us. If you're just someone who comes walking in off the street, it's just basically, sorry guys, and then we explain the whole thing, and if you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, so again, it's not, not. I know a lot of stores had the same problem. A lot of stores didn't. It's so. But if somebody wants something, we'll try. Again, but they have to be, either definitely our pull list customers will help out. Because you guys are cool. Like those are number one. So we do what we can to try to help. But
your customers. How great are your customers to your shop?
Our customers are amazing. We have some of the best customers out there, especially, we have a few that really stick out when it comes to the pandemic, and obviously no shop kept, 100% of what they were. And we had a few customers that every week, even during the shutdown, they would be like, I'll take a gift card. And we had a couple people that bought gift cards that when we reopened, and they came in, we were like, here's your $50 gift card. And they say, no. That was just to help the shop during that time. I don't need that gift card, throw it out. We had people that, well, I always wanted to check this out. So let me, do you guys have this run? And we would, look for it. And if we had it, they'd pick it up. There were some customers that really went above and beyond during the pandemic. For sure.
One of the best ones. He lives in Baltimore. You're friends with his wife.
Yes.
Right? So
I used to play video games online with his wife.
So this guy, every time he had a live sale, he'd buy something. He'd start buying something. He sends us stuff. So there was a bunch of people who were doing stuff like that for us.
He would send us books and be like, hey, I know no collections are coming in now, so here's a few keys, and we'll settle up later. And that's really cool. People have really gone above and beyond.
A lot of people have done that. Like this, here's like a stack of books. Like just take them, right? And there'd be some good. It wasn't like dollar books. It was like a bunch of $10 books. So and not everyone came back. Not everyone came back. Wanted to come in, but
though, funny enough, as the warm weather and as the numbers are starting to go lower. We're starting to see people that we haven't seen in a year. Just this Saturday, I had a family come in I haven't seen since the shutdown. And they were like, we're so happy to be back. We feel safer to go out now. So I think we do see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
I think business will come back sooner than I originally thought. I really thought mid next year it would come back, but I really believe in my heart of heart that by December, even by probably a little before that, we'll be pretty much back to normal. Sales are already going back up again. Winter was rough, but I think with this warm weather and, the vaccine and everything, I think shops are going to start getting back to it.
Let me ask about, are you guys having, you talked about customers are coming back in the shop, right? So what kind of precautions are you guys taking in the shop?
So we only currently I only allow 10 people in the store. Like I said, it's 1,100 square feet. We have X's marked in the store as for 6 feet apart. We supply gloves to everybody. So because you can't, disinfect the comic book.
If you're browsing through books, you have to have gloves on.
And we supply them. Right now we probably have 20 boxes of gloves.
So many.
There's gloves everywhere. I don't supply a mask. We have some in case someone brings a kid, and we do have some masks. But we have the plastic in front of the register, all around the register. I disinfect everything. The credit card terminal in between every sale. We have floor disinfectant and window, and it's a constant cleaning. But like I said before, we were already a clean store, so it's just a little bit extra.
Yeah, people have to have their masks on. If they want to browse, they have to wear gloves, and they really kind of can't just be hovering over each other. There's marks on the floor, but that's at every store in New Jersey. Like you can't go to a store and it's all the same.
Right.
Like so. But it's there's only been a handful of people. I wouldn't even say a handful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kick where you have to say like you're not coming in.
No, 2 or 3 throughout the whole year.
So most people seem to respect the rules, and
not only that, most people want it. Most people want to be safe, so they are safe. We even to this day have a couple people that are like, hey, I don't want to come in, but can you leave my books in a bin outside? My name on a bag.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem.
I deliver to one customer who's in the town that I live in. Back it's Oakland, it's the same town, but I'll deliver his books for him every couple of weeks. We still ship out orders to people.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to do curbside, we'll do curbside if
Not
you want to. It's not, there's no issues with anything.
Whatever it is that
you have to
you
let
feel
us know.
safe. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So this question is from Drew. Where do you guys see the comic industry going in 2021?
Ooh, I'll tell you, that market right now is insane. There's books that are popping out of nowhere. I actually think 2021 is going to be a huge year for comics.
Mm-hmm.
I think the future in general is bright, even beyond this year, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. It's funny. I was reading, I was on Facebook the other day, and I saw 2 older gentlemen talking about comics and where the industry's going. And one of them said, for the next 30 years, it'll be really strong because that generation will be alive. But when that generation goes, comics will die with it. Mm-hmm. And I used to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm starting to see comics missed a generation. They missed from like ages 24 to like 15. And that's not saying everybody in that age doesn't read them, but there is an age gap. Mm-hmm. But you think comics are in a bad way with young kids. Come into my store on a Friday after school gets out, and you'll see 20 to 30 kids hanging outside the store, 4th graders that just want to grab the newest issues. The movies helped. The movies brought in a generation that nobody even thought of. Mm-hmm. And I actually truly believe comics are here to stay. I think the future's brighter than ever. I mean, the industry takeaway last year, with the pandemic, nothing you can do about that. But, they broke $1 billion 2 years ago, the industry, and it was the strongest year comics ever had. I think you're going to keep seeing record-breaking numbers. And, if the secondhand market has any say in it, you're seeing books pop up for ridiculous amounts of money. Mm-hmm. It would be happening if the industry wasn't huge. No one would care. So I think 2021 is going to be strong, mm-hmm. especially with hopefully the pandemic ending. Yes. I think it's going to be a really strong second half. I think it's going to shock a lot of people.
I just think if those movies still keep their dominance, which that's a different conversation in its own, because I like my art movies, but if those movies keep their dominance, people mm-hmm. I want to read, yep. figure out where it comes from. I know that's when I was a guy, I'd be like, oh, where that was based on something? Mm-hmm. I got where it came from. So, as long as that's still around, as long as shows like The Mandalorian are still around, the Star Wars books, people are going to come buy a Star Wars bounty hunter book. It's WandaVision. People asking for Scarlet Witch. Nobody's ever asked for Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Who cares about Scarlet Witch? Who cares about Scarlet Witch?
Yeah. And now she's one of the hottest characters.
Yeah. And now everybody wants to read Scarlet Witch books. You're like, well, I think they're probably in the dollar bin.
And even the opposite of even the mainstream with the indie, everything's getting option now. Yeah. Everything. Boom Studios, I feel like every week it's a new announcement with
Scout too.
Yeah, Scout's huge. And then you have people come in and like, oh, I just watched this, or Jupiter's Legacy is about to come out on Netflix. I never had a person ask me for Jupiter's Legacy. Now every week
It didn't sell out.
Can I have Jupiter's Legacy? And you're like, yeah, sure.
Piles of Jupiter's Legacy comics every week. Nobody ever bought them.
So it's even outside the mainstream comics and into the indie comics. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a strong decade of comics.
All right. So where do you guys see the store a year from now and 5 years from now?
A year from now, I see us in a much better spot, obviously, financially. 5 years from now, who knows? The sky's the limit with that one.
We talked, our 5-year plan that has now been 5 years has not come to fruition, but, there's been a pandemic. We always wanted to have a second location. That was kind of like the plan was like, let's get that second location, but we need the money.
Right.
And the money's not there. So once the money's there, that's really the ultimate plan is.
Yeah, the goal is a chain. If I can own a bunch of stores, and
even if it's just another shop somewhere. I mean, yeah, obviously a chain would be great, and you have to work and whatever. But
I'll always have to work. I'm too much of a control freak.
But just I obviously go off disability, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. He stopped paying me in comics.
No, you'll always be paid.
But I'd be oh damn. My wife's gonna kill me.
Too good of a deal.
I have no more room. I'd be the general manager of the other store. And,
the goal is definitely another location. So right before the pandemic hit was obviously our biggest year. We finally kind of made it. As I'll say,
we cracked the number that we needed to crack,
and
the goal number.
We, obviously the rug was pulled under our feet with the pandemic. Sure, we didn't hit the black this year, but I think with all the new additions the store now does, once business does come back, the numbers are going to be insane. It's gonna be like, whoa, what's this? Like, I don't have to make my wife pay for everything anymore.
Same piece. And again, same thing. Like, there's stuff that we know that we have to do that we haven't done.
Right.
Like, there's, we have to be more vigilant in terms of like we relied on the fact that people would just come in with collections. And like,
yeah,
we have to start going to flea markets and junk stores and wherever and just
buy
rating stuff and just being eagle-eyed about that kind of stuff. We never did. Because you guys want to buy these 10 boxes? Sure.
Right.
So that's one thing we know. There's stuff that we know we have to improve on.
So I think if we get through this, I don't want to jinx it and be like, we're safe. But if we get through this, I think the future is going to be awesome. 5 years, I'm excited to have our 10-year anniversary and.
And if we look at other stores that have made it into their 20th year, they're doing really well.
Yep, they're crushing it, right? And seeing the second generation of our kids working here, like that's the goal is to, see my almost 6-year-old in 10 years or in 5 years be helping out more. That's going to be awesome to see, and his 4-year-old and just seeing them kind of take the industry and.
They're gonna hate us.
Though. Oh yeah,
so they're not do this. Are you kidding me? They're gonna be like, "This stuff, you nerds! You're adult nerds! How dare you?"
It'll be the best. So the 5-year plan it's gonna be awesome.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start off with fun questions for you guys. What was the amazing thing that came through the shop?
Actually the most amazing, I'd have to say, was Amazing Fantasy 15. We've had it once. Other than that, cool story. Yeah. So I was in the back of the shop. I was in my office, and Bob was here doing social media stuff, and he heard the bell. So he walked up, and I could kind of hear in the background, this little old lady walks in, and she goes, "I have 2 books to sell." So I automatically went back to what I was doing because it's usually Archie or Richie Rich. And I'm not, all that excited.
Superman 295.
Right. So all of a sudden, Bob is a 6'5", 6'6", large man with a deep voice, and He calls my name like 4 octaves above his normal range.
Nah.
He's like, Matt. I come walking up, and on the counter are Amazing Spider-Man 1 and X-Men 1. And she goes, I think I could sell these for $200 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, nah, they're worth much more.
Yeah.
And she goes, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah, I can't buy these from you,
Yes.
but I'll sell them for you.
Yeah.
So she goes, well, what do you think I can get? And I said, a few thousand, it's within 24 hours.
I threw them up online.
We threw them up on Instagram. They both sold instantly. I called her the next day. I said, I have your money. She came down to the store and she's like, so what do we make? And I said, here's $9,000. She grabbed it and she started crying. And she said, can I hug you? And I said, yeah, of course. So she gave me a big hug and she's like, you guys are the angels I prayed for. The story is her husband passed away. Those were his last 2 comics. She was trying to move to California with her daughter, but had to fix up the house.
Roof. She had to fix her roof, and it was going to cost her X amount of money, and she wasn't going to make it, and blah blah. But this month, if I ended up selling these, she was able to
fix it,
move, and
it's everybody I tell that story to is like, man, you could have,
you
robbed
could have
her
made
blind.
so much money, and I'm like, no, we're not those people.
I can't. Like, I got 2 kids at the time. I had 1. I have to sleep at night. I am a big believer in karma.
Yes.
Yeah, I could have paid her $200, but to me, that's a special story. And
listen, as a store that we don't get those. Like,
no,
yeah,
thing.
Like, people, some guys might be like, oh wow, those guys, yeah, we gotta get those every couple of months. We only get them once. Like, that's the only time we've ever gotten those books. Who knows when we're gonna see them again? But man, just holding them, it was like I'm holding like this piece of history.
That was by far the coolest. That was the coolest story. But Amazing Fantasy 15 is the biggest book we've ever had.
Yeah. But I think what's really good with the little old lady with X-Men #1 and Spider-Man #1, what it really shows for you guys have integrity.
You have to.
It's
my grandfather, he owned property in New York City. So he was a businessman since, I was born, and I would go with him every weekend to, his 2 buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw the way he practiced business.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of set up, everything with me. And, even collecting rent from, they might have had a bad month. And he would say, don't worry about it. Like, you get me next week. And I just kind of learned everything from him. And it, like I said, I got to sleep at night. I have to do what's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's a real great story. That's a very cool story.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Next question. Were there any celebrities or comic book creators that popped into the shop unannounced?
Okay, so first, we've had a few comic creators that I'll get into, but Jeffrey Cantor, who played Ellison on Daredevil, he actually lives in Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
He has a band, actually. So my birthday 2 years ago, this guy that at first I'm like looking, like, is that? And he said, listen, he's like, I heard it's your birthday. It was Christmas Eve. I was open for a few hours. And I said, yeah, it is my birthday. And he's like, I just wanted to stop in, wish you a happy birthday, buy a few Daredevil things. So he bought like little minifigures. We actually had an Ellison minifig. He bought that, and he just BS'd for a few minutes and then vanished. I thought that was so cool. He wanted to wish me a happy birthday.
Yeah.
I'm nothing to him, But in Oakland, we had, do we really want to say? We had Tom Palmer. He doesn't like to know people where he lives, but we had Tom Palmer live in the town we were in, and he would come in and he'd wait for everybody to leave because he's super shy, and he would sit down and just talk about working in the Marvel bullpen and talking with Stan Lee, and
just all the
crazy stories.
Yeah, just with all the different people, like all our heroes and stuff like that.
And like how he even was telling like the war between, you know, them and DC, and you know, they would do stuff to mess with them, and that was so cool to just sit and listen to him talk. And you know, every older person's got some crazy stuff if you sit down and listen.
Yes.
But Tom Palmer being like the godfather of inking,
Yes.
Oh man, he had some stories, and you would just sit there and smile as he spoke because you were learning some awesome things.
And then
Joe Sabino.
Joe Sabino is one of the VC letterers. He actually lives around here, comes in for his books.
Signs stuff for us all the time.
Yeah. Rebecca Isaac, the cover art, she does the cover art.
Danny Lore,
we met, and then we had Mean Gene here 3 months before he died. Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, from wrestling. We did. Yeah, and he. The only thing I wanted was for him to cut a promo with sitting next to me, and he did this big long promo that I still have saved on my phone. He looked terrible. He was obviously in very bad health, but he sounded just like Mean Gene. It was one of the coolest things. I've also Alan Oppenheimer, the guy who played Skeletor, the original Skeletor.
Oh yeah.
I had him record something for my brother as Skeletor. So like he did this big long speech I recorded on my cell phone. I gotta say, all the creators and all the actors that I've met, they've all been super cool. You know, none of them blow you off like go away. One of the guys who played the mutant leader on Gotham, Sid O'Connell, it's like hanging out with
every
Bob.
big show that he's at. Hey guys!
And he comes running up. He's
big, giant guy.
He's a 6'5" bodybuilder.
All muscles.
I remember I'm a large man. You know, I'm a heavy set human being. And the second time I ever met him,
Husky.
He comes running up to me. He lifts me in the air and squeezed me. He popped a vertebrae in my back. I was in pain for days. The next time I saw him, he came running up to give me another hug. I was like, Sid, stop. It was like a puppy. I'm like, no, don't hug me. You hurt me. And he's like, I'm sorry. People are awesome. That's why I love the industry, because nobody's got that big head. It's love for okay.
There's
no one that I've met.
Most of the people that we've associated with are
awesome, and it's all
people.
love. It's all love. Everybody wants to just BS about what we love, and it's such a cool industry. I mean, look at us right now. Yes. We're sitting here talking to you, you know, who is a quarter across the world,
3,000,
right? You know, and we're talking about comics. Like, that's insane to me. You know, we've never met. We've talked online.
Yeah,
and this isn't awkward. It's just like we've been friends for years. It's a really cool industry, man. This is a great industry.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some cool people.
That's why I think comics. That's another reason I think comics are, going to be around a long time, because there's so much love in this industry.
And again, I said not to be. I don't want to be political at all, but part of the issues with comics, though, is, and again, it goes back to a further question about comics in the future, is all of the trying to integrate and make things better while trying to keep the people who want their original things original, and trying to get everybody to come together. It's like, that's not the only issue I see in any of this. It's just, and it might take a while, but that's,
we'll be fine. It works itself out.
Okay.
Too many people fighting over really silly things.
Oh, that's everywhere, though. That's the world.
What were your guys' best convention moments?
So definitely the Alan Oppenheimer thing was really awesome. But really, I got to say that the best shows, the best conventions are by that guy, John Paul. The community he's built, there's never any theft. There's no fighting.
There's go-tos. Like, hey, I need this book. Why don't we call this guy? I'll give this guy a call. Like, it's a small community of sellers. And listen, there's only a handful of shops that do the shows. We're one of them. But like, it's everyone's just got each other's back. Like,
Yep.
nobody's trying to pull one over. Every seller right in the beginning goes walking around. Hey man, can I get that? And every seller except one would like hooks you up good. You know.
We actually, I met John Paul because back, I don't know,
been a while.
maybe the second month I was open, third month I was open, one of his longtime sellers lost his collection in a fire.
Oh yeah,
and he was like 70 years old. So John Paul, I just happened to stumble across it while I was on my own social media, asked if anybody could chip in. So I showed up to one of the shows. The shows have like a, I don't know, 2 to 3 year waiting list if you want to sell there.
And just so you know, they're in one of them's in a community center, where it's like a big gymnasium.
Mm-hmm.
One of them like a small hotel banquet room.
Yep.
Like they're not big. They're
They're small shows, and they're comics. There's no like,
it's all for.
There's no cosplay. There's rarely toys. It's comics.
Yeah.
But I went and donated 4 boxes of comics to a man I didn't know, and John Paul, the guy that runs it, was so taken back by that the following month he said, you know, I have an opening. You want in? And I said, there's a wait list, and he said, not for you. And he said, not for what you did.
And then we paid for life after that.
We paid for a life table, and
then the other thing too is something. What happened with John Paul? And we got everybody to raise money for him.
Oh yeah, he had a
something happened.
A leaky roof. It was a leaky roof, and you know, we raised. Everybody, you know, wanted to chip in because he's so giving, and we all raised money for him. And like I said, it's all love. It's this. He's great, and those are my. You know, we've done the bigger shows. They're always fun.
The mid majors,
but
right?
But the local shows, man, because there's just a vibe.
You know everyone,
right? You know everybody. I'm walking around singing like I'm a human jukebox, and people are laughing, and it's just. It doesn't feel like you're there 8 hours. It's
that's the thing with like Garden State Comic Expo or whatever. It's great. We like doing it. There's cool stuff. I met Garth Ennis. I talked to Gail Simone, who I thought would like is one of my favorite. Jay Lee, because like, you know, Gail Simone's one of my favorite writers. You know, I follow her on Twitter and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she actually had a conversation with me, like, you know, and people, trust me, have much better stories than I do because I rarely go and talk to people. But like, one of the guy who's looked exactly like Sergeant Slaughter, I made him put Matt in a headlock for a picture.
He's the best.
Yeah, that guy.
Patrick Skelton.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's great. Yeah. We had Meredith Finch. David Finch's wife was there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I love David Finch. Like every David Finch cover I can get my hands on, regardless of the book, I'll take it because I just love his art. There's something about it. And so she was there, and I was like, "Hey, I really like your book, Rose, that you did at the time. I'm like, I have the first two arcs. Yeah, if you don't mind signing them for me." So no problem. So she's talking for a second. I'm like, just so you know, and I hope this isn't too. David is one of my favorite artists of all time. If you could just let him know. And she's like, he would be thrilled to hear that, and I will definitely tell him. So there's all like little encounters from doing those shows, but it's, you know, every year it's the same. You know, you're gonna talk to the same people. How many times did we see the guy who wears the not Shooter? Is it Shooter who's at all of them? Who I don't know. There's usually guys like the same guys who do. Larry Hama does like all of the shows.
Well, they're local though.
Yeah.
You know?
So like, you'll see the same guys at like a ton of these things. Mm-hmm. It's, but at least at like Garden State and stuff like that, you can actually get a chance.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you go to any of the, you know,
New York,
NYCC,
you're not going to talk.
Green Emerald, like you're not gonna. It's not, you know, San Diego. Like I'm never going back to New York Comic Con. Like, you know, last time I went, I was 17. Going back there. But the locals, it's great. It's great just sitting there. It doesn't feel like work.
No.
You know, everybody's just like, you know, you can, you know who's gonna try to give you a hard time beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, you know that it's that guy. That guy's gonna try to pull one over on us. That these people will buy whatever because they just love it. You know what people are looking for. So sometimes you're like, hey man, I just got these. You know, Spider-Man 280 to 295, and you were missing. Oh yeah, I was missing. So it's, you know, I don't know.
It's always fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
So again, I'm sorry. So that show that John Paul runs, again, what's the name of it again for our listeners? If they're, when's pandemic is over, and they're in New Jersey, they want to go, and when is the show that is? When does it usually is held? What month then?
It's njcomicbookshows.com.
Okay.
And he does 3 towns. He does 4 towns. So it depends on the month.
Okay.
One is like a third Sunday. One is a second Sunday.
Okay.
So really, you have to go to that website and.
But he'll do it's like in the towns. There's 4 different towns. He'll let you know. Some of them aren't doing it yet, like because one of the towns, Clifton, which is like the bigger one. They're not allowing that big of a gathering yet.
Right.
But like Wayne, one of the other towns, they can do it. So figure that it's a local show in New Jersey. I'm sure most places have them, but he's been doing it for a really long time, so he's got a lot of people going. So it really helps.
That would be your best way, is just to go on his website and see, what month is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the same thing on Facebook too.
Yeah.
And NJ Comic Book Shows.
Okay. All right. What is your favorite restaurant in the area you guys live in, and what is your favorite dish from that restaurant?
So in Ramsey, from where the shop is, my favorite's actually a Japanese place called Sarku, and I get the teriyaki chicken with noodles, extra sauce, because who doesn't like extra teriyaki sauce?
No.
And it is so good, so good.
Mine's actually because I just realized this too, because I didn't think it was in Ramsey. It's called Kinchley's Tavern. Been open for 100 years. It's bar pizza in a small little. It's a bar and like a little restaurant, small. I get 2 bacon pies and some fried ravioli.
So good.
That's it, and a beer, and I'm good to go. This area though in Bergen County is a great place for food.
Yeah, there's Varka. There's a Greek restaurant that's wins
Cafe
every year.
Cafe Panache is right there. The bakery. Like there's tons of in Ramsey just by itself, but just in northern Bergen County,
you can always find something good.
There's great restaurants.
That's why I'm heavy.
yeah, we're both big for a reason.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I'm also, I'm heavy too. So okay. Hawaii has great food here as well too.
Sure.
Yeah, I couldn't go there. No.
All right, so I'm gonna start wrapping this up. So again, can you guys promote, the store's social media platforms again?
All right. So the website is gucomicshop.com. On there has the links. The links for everything are on there. We're Gotham Underground on Instagram, and you can just look for Gotham Underground on Facebook, but it's actually Gotham Underground CS. If you're looking,
but if you type in Gotham Underground,
you should
pop up.
Yeah, you should
the first
find
thing
it.
that pops up.
And then on Twitter, we are the one that I always forget. We are at GU Comic Shop.
Okay.
So I was too stupid in the beginning. Well, no, he started it because he started Facebook 1st. So he started it, and then I couldn't get them all to be the same, and now it's too late. So
is what it is.
Any last words to our listeners?
Yeah, just thank you. Really, keep supporting your local. This isn't just about us. There's enough to go around for everybody. Box retail isn't the way. Shop small. And that's outside of just comics. Small businesses in general. Support them all you can. Trust me, they're doing everything they can to help you. So just please support your local shops, no matter what they are.
Yeah, I said you can get things cheaper other places, but this money is actually where it's going.
Right.
You send your money to Amazon, you don't know what robot's getting it. You know what I mean? Jeff Bezos he got his divorce was $38 million. He made $35 million in February. 35 billion. I'm sorry. So he remade up his thing. Where's all that money go? Who knows? We know the money goes to Matt, goes to his family, goes to buy new books.
Mhm.
Like,
Make
you
the
know,
shop better.
like all these stores on Main Street, Main Street, USA, anywhere, it's the same. You know,
Yep.
like you wanna, you know, and pick up your pull list.
Pick up your polls.
I can't stress that enough. That's a big, everyone. I will tell you that. But yeah,
I will let me say this because 20 years ago at another local shop, same thing with me. One day I had a call like a month later, like, are you picking up your books? You know, this is a shop that closed a while ago. Yeah, yes, that.
No, it like I've seen it hasn't really happened to us, but I've seen shops post, you know, here's our people I didn't pick up, and it's like almost $9,000 worth of books. And you're in an industry where it's the flavor of the week, you know, and I would have sold out of that book if you didn't reserve it.
Yes.
But now I can't sell it.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't happen as much with us, and you know, it's also you know, you can pick up the phone, you can send us a message anywhere, and just say, hey guys, I won't be able to make it in until X date.
And we're fine with that.
Okay. Now, if you say like I won't be in until 6 months, we're gonna have a different conversation,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but like you just let us know ahead of time, we're good. But just, you know, ghosting on it, it's like, but it doesn't happen that often. So, and we make those calls, we've made those emails, we made those calls, you know. So, but you know, yeah, that is a big thing. And pick up your pulse.
Pick up your pulse.
But, you know, and I said enjoy this.
Yeah,
enjoy,
that's another thing. Enjoy the hobby.
Yeah.
It's not all about flipping and stuff. Enjoy the books.
Yeah.
You know, comic books are awesome. They are, you know, an escape. They are great on the imagination. They're great for your kids. They help kids read that, you know, don't want to read a book.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off, but the reason I got back into comic books was when I had my first 2 seizures. This is, you know, years and years ago, but I couldn't read. Like I could read, but I couldn't read. Like I'm sitting at a book and I'd forget what happened 2 pages beforehand, but I could follow sequential art. And because I was able to follow sequential art, reading comic books was the only thing I could do. That was still like, and I'm an avid reader, so like to take that away from me was horrible. But to get back into the comic books, and it just so happened that the Before Watchmen stuff was coming out, and I was like, I love Before Watchmen, so I started buying that, and I just started buying everything. And you know, it helps if you're sick, if you're, again, kids. So many kids who have reading issues, you know, get comic books, and it helps them so much.
Yeah, so parents, let
you
your
know,
kids buy comics.
And again, like don't be taken advantage of by people on eBay or spec people. You know, listen, like you want some variant cover that you think is great, some Clayton Crane variant cover that they're trying to sell for $100. And yeah, the market might be $100 right now. It's not always going to be $100. Wait 2 months. Don't, you know, like, listen, and that's bad for me to say. You're giving me a look, but but like, you know what I mean? Like, as a collector, somebody to read, like, you don't have to necessarily go crazy buying all this stuff. Just enjoy it, have fun, you know. Spend your money wisely, you know. I don't know. And follow our social media, because sometimes I do silly stuff.
True.
Sometimes not the silly stuff. The chip challenge one time, and so, you know.
All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. Thank Matt, Bob. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
very much. You know, thank you for talking about the history of of the store. You know, thank you for talking about the challenges and the strengths that you guys the different skill sets you guys learned during the pandemic. And, thank you for talking about, the future of where you guys want to go.
Of course, our pleasure.
Very much.
Thank you.
Fun. Yeah.
Until next time, guys, aloha.
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 That was my interview with Matt and Bob of Gotham Underground Comics and Collectibles. Now, I just want to give, a few shout outs. First off, I want to thank Matt and Bob for giving me the opportunity to interview them and to thank them for their time, for them to tell me the rich history of, how Gotham Underground Comics got started, to the challenges that they faced during the pandemic and how they overcame those challenges. And also, what I really loved about this interview was, their optimism of the comic book industry, and their optimism, for the store's future. So again, Matt and Bob, thank you very much. I also want to thank Drew. He's one of the co-hosts of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. So Drew, thank you for always letting me contribute to your podcast. Thank you very much for doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes for putting this episode together. Thank you very much. Now, if you are a new listener to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast, please check out their weekly episodes that comes out every Saturday. My Ohioan brothers Drew and Kyle do spec picks of new releases that come out every Tuesday and Wednesday. And finally, I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for listening to this interview, and thank you very much for your time. I know, this interview went long, so again, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys, aloha.